Hi there, everybody. Christopher at Studio 3 Photography. Thank you for joining me today. Today, we're going to take a little bit of a deep dive into a great listing enhancement technology known as Matterport, commonly referred to as a 360-degree virtual tour. This is an excellent tool for any marketing purpose whatsoever, residential, commercial, any needs. Let's talk a little bit about how it works, and I'm going to give you a demonstration of what it does when it's put together, and you can see how it benefits you and your clients. So what is Matterport? Matterport is a fairly bulky box of a camera, special lenses on it, that sits on a tripod, spins around in a circle, and actually takes individual scans of the property it's inside. You do multiple scans throughout a property based on how big it is, and our tablet or our cell phone records the raw data from that scan. When we finish the property, we send all the information to Matterport Land. Matterport is the company that primarily does the majority of these kinds of virtual imaging for us. They send us back a finished product with a link that we can share with you and your clients. You can put it on websites, you can put it on MLS listings, wherever you want to go, and give people the opportunity to walk through your property, first person point of view, anytime, day or night, without disruption to yourself, the property, or any of your clients. So let's take a look at a finished demonstration of what I have here for you, show you what the consumer product would see, what your end result is, and I can go through and show you some of the features that Matterport has. So I'm going to refresh. To get to Matterport, just like any other website in the world, you're going to be given a URL, www.matterport.com/. You could actually change it like any other URL. If it's going to be a permanent link, you can rename it. You can get a masking URL for it if you wanted to and put in your company's name. But nonetheless, the end result that you will get is a website link, a URL that everybody in the world can see and share. So when you click on the link, this is what's going to happen. It loads up into what they first call Dollhouse View, and that takes you into the starting point for the Matterport tour. You can pick, the photographer can pick the starting point anywhere on the property they want with the view they want you to see when you first sign in. So this example is a townhouse that I filmed recently. And of course, this beautiful view of the great room and the staircase going up to the loft is probably one of the most eye-catching views of the property. So I chose this as the starting point so that every time somebody clicks on a link, this is where they begin. But now this is where the fun happens. Now that we're in here, your viewer can go anywhere they want to go. If you look around, and I'll go slow for you for a second here, there's little white circles on the floor throughout the property. Oh, I clicked on it, sorry. There's a circle there, and a circle over there, and a circle in the bedroom, a circle over here. All those circles represent individual places I sit the tripod with the camera to do a scan. So based on the size of the property and how in-depth of the scan we need to get to, there could be anything from 20 to 100 plus scans for a single property, just depending upon how big the property is. So now that you or your user, your viewer, your client, whatever, have clicked on the link and you're inside the property, I am using the arrow keys. You could also click on it with your mouse to advance from spot to spot, but I prefer to use the arrow keys to make it more like a video game. So I can use the left arrow key and I can look left 360 degrees on every one of these spots. If you see there in the mirror, that black camera on the tripod, that is the Matterport camera. If you hit the right arrow, of course I go right. If I hit the up arrow, I'll advance forward towards the nearest scan location. If I hit the down arrow, I will go backwards towards the nearest scan location. And you don't have to know, and your users obviously generally don't know where these scans are, but if you point up towards the direction, it will take you to the next available spot. And this is just me pressing the up arrow to advance from spot to spot. Then I turn left a little bit, push up again, and there's a scan sitting over here. So it's very user-friendly. Anybody can see anything. They don't have to know how the technology works. It's like playing a video game. You just use the arrow keys, and you can go around the house. Anywhere you want to go, left and right, look around, advance over here. So one of the best parts about this Matterport virtual tour, and I'm going to speak for a second about like residential applications for selling a house or listing a house. A couple of different things. If you have out of area buyers, if you're listing a house in Central Florida, you know, your buyers aren't just from your neighborhood. They can be from all over the country and all over the world. And on the MLS, they can find the house, but not all realtors or listing agents or business owners use Matterport Tour. So the most common question you're going to get, excuse me, from an out of area buyer is, well, I want to see the house. I have to schedule a flight and get down there, and I can't fly out for another week or two, and hopefully the house is still there. Well, with this Matterport technology, you can actually send them the link from your listing, from your website, whatever it is, and they can click on the link 24 hours a day, and they can see the house. And of course, you know, they have to take your word for it. Say, you know, we just scanned it recently. It's a new listing, whatever the case may be. But just tell them to click on the link, and they can use the arrow keys and go anywhere in the house they want to go, and they can see it. So that enables your reach for more buyers anywhere in the world, anytime, day or night, to be able to see your property firsthand. You know, the typical scan height that we usually use and most people use between 4 and 5 feet. That way it's pretty much center of the house for most people at eye level, so that everything you see typically sits at eye level. But this is a 360-degree scan. So that doesn't just mean what you see right here as I pan around left and right is all you're going to see. What if I want to know what the ceiling looks like? Well, I can click and hold. As you see, I move around with the cursor. There's a white circle here. If I click on it, it takes me closer to that spot. But if I click and hold with my left mouse key, I click my left mouse key and hold it down, and then I drag my scroll wheel up, I can actually take my viewpoint straight up, like I'm looking up with my head like this, straight up at the ceiling. Now, this blur spot right here is 0. That's 180 degrees straight up. And then on the floor, it does the same thing. That's the only spot that's a blur because the camera can't quite grasp everything. It's got to give that 1% for a cap of how far it can reach. But you can see the central air fan. You can see what the ceiling looks like. You can actually move around and see all different angles of the property. So every time I go to move, I'm just holding my left mouse button down, clicking a spot anywhere in the picture, even on the bed. And now I'm rotating my scroll wheel up to get the mouse to look down. And again, all the way down to the floor. This blurry spot here is 180 degrees, or degree 1 point straight down the floor. So that's why the camera is standing on the tripod. It can't see straight down, but it can see everything else. Now, if I move over a spot, the blur moved, right? So now the blur was right there because that's where it was standing on the tripod. It can't see through the bottom of the tripod, and it can't see through the top of the box, but it sees everything else. But as I move my position, that blur spot moves too. So I can still see everything in the house, top to bottom, 360 degrees. So again, that is a really great feature about Matterport, is that they can see anything at any angle. Hey, what's in this closet? Well, I can go up here and click, and the scan, if there's a scan in the closet, would go in it. This one doesn't have a scan in the closet. But there it is. Okay. I can click on here in the bathroom. Click on the wall, and it takes you to the next scan point. Again, left or right mouse button. The only thing Matterport doesn't do is I can't click and open the cabinet doors. But otherwise, you can see everything on the house you want to see. Well, Chris, that's great. We can run around and see all the rooms down here, but there's a staircase over there. So now what? Well, you see the dot on the stairwell right there? All I'm going to do, just like I was hitting my up arrow to go forward and my down arrow to go backward, I'm going to hit my up arrow to go forward, and it's going to take me up the stairs. And I can actually climb the stairs in this house by hitting the up arrow. And as I go, I can see everything around me 360 degrees. And same thing. I can scan all the way up. I can scan all the way down. I can see everything in every direction. Hit the up arrow again and again, and now I'm on the second floor. We can scan 15, 20 floors, whatever it takes. So the Matterport technology will let you walk anywhere in the house. Doesn't matter if it's a 1-story or 2-story or 3 or 5. We can get everywhere. And we can even pan down and see what's going on down there. So again, here's the blur spot from the floor, but I'm looking down over the loft through the railing. And of course, because it's a virtual scan, it's real pictures, I can see through the railing to what's down below. If I scroll wheel my mouse up, I'm zooming in on the picture, so I can see things closer. If I scroll wheel down, I zoom back out as far as it'll go. So here's this really cool picture. I want to zoom in. I scroll wheel, I push up on the scroll wheel on my mouse, and I can zoom really tight into the picture. I roll back on the scroll mouse, it zooms further out on the picture. So again, your users, your viewers can walk around the entire property anytime, day or night, and see everything they want to see. So what's another common question that you're going to get from clients when you're trying to list a property or show a property or whatever it is? Well, how do I know if my furniture is going to fit? What does the room measure? Number one most common thing that I don't see agents do anymore, and we haven't done it in years, at least not on a regular basis, is actually measure the rooms and apply the measurements into the listing. There's no telling how big these rooms really are. Well, Matterport has a solution for that in 2 ways. Option number one is that with these scans, you actually have 2 floor plan views you can utilize. One comes with the scan. It's called Dollhouse View. I click on a button, I can go to Dollhouse. I can rotate. I'm simply holding my left mouse button and dragging my mouse around, and I can rotate the house in 3D form and see everything in the house anywhere I want to go. I can also click on the floor plan button, and I can see a floor from like a sky up view. So this is the first floor of this house. Now, granted, this doesn't give me measurements, but I'll get to that in a second. But I could see like a bird looking down. Here's the secondary bedroom, which is the hobby room in this case. Sorry, here's the garage. I'm reading upside down. This is the garage, and your kitchen, dining room area, your entryway, second bedroom, the staircase going up, the living room area, the screen in the lanai, the primary bedroom, primary bathroom. And then, well, what about the second floor? Click on the second floor button, and now it highlights scans on the second floor. Here's the loft area, storage, bathroom, bedroom 1 with the storage area and a sitting space, and bedroom 2. Or you can turn them all on and see the whole thing. So it gives you a floor plan that way. But Chris, it doesn't give me any measurements. So how do I see the measurements? Another option. With these scans, you can order from your photographer an actual floor plan in PDF format. It looks just like a blueprint does. I wish I had an example for this one, but I don't. However, they give you a PDF image. If it's 2 floors, it has the floors side by side, has it in the black outline, just like a true architectural floor plan would show you. And it has the measurements with an accuracy as much as 1/10 of an inch with an accurate actual measurement of the floor plans. So if it's 11 foot 1 inch by 12 foot 6 inch, it's going to tell you exactly that for every single space with walls on 4 sides in the house. Now, another question. Well, what if I don't have that floor plan, but I want to know how big a space is? I want to know how big that wall is over there, or how big is the window over there? Well, Matterport is another option for that. And everybody can do this. There's a little ruler here on the bottom left. It says measurement mode. Anybody, any viewer, any user, anybody, anywhere that can get to the website can click on that button. And all they need to do is line up in the corner. You see there's a little zoom up there in the top, that circle up there that zooms in and shows you how close it is. So for example, if I wanted to measure the window, I can see there's the wall at the window, right? Click on it, let go. I can drag it over to this side. It zooms in again. And I click on it again, and it tells me that the measurement of that window from wall to wall is 4 foot 6 inches across. And I can do that for any measurement I want anywhere in the house. I can measure the entire house if I want to. I want to go from this wall to that wall. I didn't click quite all the way through there, but the measurement I did is 11 foot 3. I believe this wall 11 foot 6. But if I clicked on the wall, yep, 11 foot 3 from corner to corner. And it will continue to measure anything you do, and accuracy is within an inch. So if your clients need to know, well, my furniture set fit here. Okay, well, how big is your furniture set? Oh, it's 4 foot 5. Okay, well, that space over there on the wall, we can measure it out. Start there, click there, and it tells you it's 3 foot 4 inches. So any measurement in the house you want. You can even zoom out and measure a doorway. There you are. So that is measurement mode. That is, again, anybody anywhere in the world can click on that ruler, go into one of these Matterport tours, and measure wall spaces of any kind they want. So let's talk for just a second about why you would want to invest in having a professional photographer create a Matterport tour for you for your listing. Number one, as I hinted on before, out of area buyers. Buyers are moving all over the country and all over the world right now, and they see the property online, but the common question becomes, well, I want to be able to actually see the property and not just see a few pictures of it, to really know what it's like and see if my stuff would fit and so on and so forth. This Matterport tour, you can send them a link and they can view it first person point of view. They control where in the house they go. They can see absolutely every room and every wall in the house. They can measure everything in the house, and it's there for them. Another factor, it reduces the amount of unnecessary showings. People that are selling their house, that still live in their home, their chief complaint is the fact that their lives are constantly disrupted by showings. They wouldn't mind showing the house if it was going to sell, but there's no guarantee that this showing is going to result in a buyer. And there's, the other unfortunate side effect of showings is that if you only have a few pictures on there, even great pictures, they still want to see the house. And they get there and they go, man, this is nothing like I thought I was going to get when I saw those pictures. I didn't realize it was that small. I didn't realize it had stairs. Whatever it is, it just wasn't what they thought it would be, because the pictures don't always tell the full story. Matterport tells the full story. They can see everything. So if somebody calls you and says, hey, I want to go see this house, and I know somebody lives there, like, have you seen the Matterport tour? Oh, what's that? Check out the Matterport tour. I'll send you the website for it in your email. Take a look around. It's really easy to use. Call me back. If that's the house that you think you want to see, we can schedule a showing to verify what it is you want to see. And that saves you as a listing agent and your sellers from the disruptions of unnecessary showings. Having Matterport tours also increases the amount of interest and the activity you get from potential buyers. Buyers are, inundated by the amount of listings that are out there all over the country. Everybody's got a house for sale somewhere, and a lot of them are identical. A lot of these master plan communities have identical looking homes as far as their layout and structure is built. But it's a matter of what kind of upgrades are done to it. Does it have granite countertops? Does it have hardwood floors? Does it have carpeting? Was it repainted? Is it wallpapered? And you need to see it to understand what's really there. And if you have a Matterport tour, their likelihood to follow up with you and inquire about your house instead of the exact same model down the street is much more likely, because they've actually been able to walk through the home and see it in full detail. So if the house next door is $50,000 more expensive or cheaper, either which way, but there's only a handful of pictures and they got to drive, 100 miles from where they're moving to see this house, your house has a Matterport tour, they're much more likely to book your house in person and likely to make an offer on it because they've already seen the entire property. So it's going to generate a lot more interest and a lot more activity from ready-to-go buyers, because information is necessary at an instant. People want to see answers now. They want to know answers now. This Matterport tour gives them that. If somebody works all hours of the afternoon and they get home late at night, it's kind of hard to do a showing at 9, 10 o'clock at night or 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. But this Matterport gives them the opportunity when it's convenient for them to get the information they need and entices their desire to want to interact and be a part of your property. So it's a very valuable asset to have. Finally, if you're a professional real estate agent, which we all want to be, your brand is everything. And the only way that you can get listings and get more listings is by showing forth to potential sellers what you've done with the listings you have. If you create a brand for yourself that you utilize current technologies, state-of-the-art photography practices, Matterport tours, and whatnot, that brands you as the go-to listing agent in your community, and it's going to bring you more business. So yes, investing in this technology, investing in professional photography and the Matterport tours cost money, but that money is going to return not only in selling that house, but building your brand to bring other sellers who want you to sell their homes as well, because they want you to do the same thing for them, so they too can get top dollar, best response, and fastest sell. I hope you've enjoyed the brief tour of the Matterport program here. If I can help you with this or any other photography needs, please reach out to us at Studio 3. Until next time, have a great day.